the fact that it was said was not acceptable, and that is what I'll call it out for. Do you know what I mean? Honest, that you're not getting it any. It's not getting any different to that. That's the stance. Okay, but look, she's took shit from about 2 o'clock this morning. Right, she should. So she should. Yeah, right, she should. She should take shit. She should own a beef and get in the box and try and sort it out. But you're not going to sort something out while it's on the back of an argument. You need to wait until it's chilled out and then go and say your piece to people, which I think will probably happen today. The aftermath could have definitely been avoided. Just don't be racist, I guess. I was there.
Good morning. Hello?
I can hear you now.
Honestly, I don't know why it keeps doing it, but TikTok keep not letting me speak.
It's fucking crackers.
Oh, darling.
God. Happy Saturday.
Happy bloody Saturday. Morning, everyone.
I'm doing a nighter, by the way.
You what?
I'm doing a nighter. So I've been on a night shift, but obviously I'm going to do a dayer, but it's a nighter because obviously I haven't been asleep, so I'm staying awake all night.
Oh, God. I don't know. I can't stay awake, you know.
I can get out quite easy if I've had about 40 cups of coffee.
I can't stay awake.
Can I clarify? No one is making excuses. No one. I have not made an excuse for anyone's behaviour. For anyone who joined me live from the start to where we are at this moment in time, I've just told you, and I'll tell you again, I'm not going to sit here and call her a racist, because obviously you know I speak to her, and I don't believe she is a racist. I don't believe she says racial slurs or uses racial mannerisms every day. Okay, so maybe the one comment that she's made and you're all implying that she's racist because of that comment that she's made, then that's fine, because you're all entitled to your opinion. No one's going to take your opinion away from you. From my perspective, as I've already said to you, what I don't agree with was the comment that was made and the way that the comment was delivered and the way it was delivered in the live. So I will call Pearl out for that myself. But that's not me saying that I agree with Pearl's behaviour. I'm just saying that I'm not going to sit here, because I know that's what everyone wants everyone to do, is sit there on lives and fire lives up and go, yeah, Pearl is a racist. I'm not going to say she's a racist, but I'm not going to sit there and back the comment what was made last night. I won't do that. Okay? And I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
If you just want to disagree with me, you can disagree with me. If you want to agree with me, you can agree with me. But it's my personal opinion. And I'm not going to sit there, because I've watched it be done to people before. I'm not going to sit there and call someone a racist on the basis of one comment. Okay? That's not what I'm going to do. It was in the back of an argument, yeah? It was a heated argument. It was an argument. She said the comments. I don't know what context she said the comments, but the comments, when it come out, was jaw-dropping. It dropped my jaw, so I wasn't happy with the comment that was made. It made me feel uncomfortable, so it must have made everyone else feel uncomfortable, which is fine for us to say that, because we're adults, we're allowed to say that. But I'm not going to come on here, I'm not going to fire a live up, and I'm not going to sit there and say that she's racist. Okay?
Thank you, Charlie. I can't see how many people are in here. Thank you, Mama. I can't see how many people are in here, but MT, you know that they're expecting us to tear Pearl apart.
Well, I'm not going to do that, Jay.
No.
You know, and that's not because she's my mate, yeah? That's not because I speak to her, right? That's because, look, Angie got in the fucking box. Do you know what I mean? Out of all people, would any of you have expected Angie to jump in someone's box? But I ain't going to sit here and tear the woman down. But that doesn't mean I'm going to condone her behaviour and say that I think it's acceptable. Because as I said to you, you'll all watch the same video, what we've all watched. If you were in the live, you would see it the exact same way that we all seen it. The way it was delivered was what made my jaw drop. Because I come on the back of a see you next Tuesday. And on the back of that, the comment was made and she dipped out. So that was shocking for me, because then I was a bit confused as to what did you actually mean. How did you say it? Do you get what I mean? I sat there and watched it with you, but I'm not going to sit there and call her racist.
I think if people want to come in and have their view on it, then that is totally acceptable. But what we're not going to do is sit here and rip her apart. So if that's what you're here for, then you're going to be disappointed. Thank you, Magpie.
So you don't think the comment itself was racist? Okay, listen. I haven't said...
Jackie, thank you, Anastasia.
I'd appreciate it if you don't put words in my mouth. I haven't said...
Honestly, this is what they'll do. They're going to do it all weekend, MT.
I haven't said I don't believe the comment is racist. What I have said to you, and I will continue to say it, and it will be my stance for the rest of the day, is the comment that was made, I do not believe to be acceptable in the context it was used, on the back of an argument that was heated, in the box, directed at the individual who it was directed at, okay? So I don't think that was acceptable, but I'm not going to sit here and label someone a racist on the basis of that argument last night. That's what I won't do, because that's what you want us to do. That's what everyone wants everyone to do, and I won't do that. But I'm not sitting here saying that the comment was acceptable. I'm not sitting here defending the actions of Pearl. That's not what I'm doing. I'm sitting here saying this is what my view is. This is my opinion. I don't agree with what the comments were made, but I'm not going to sit there and label the woman a racist. I've watched people who were Pearl's mates, all morning while I've been on my night shift. I've watched people switch, like a click of the hat, switch straight away. I've watched them switch it up straight away, all turned the back on her, and I won't do that. I won't call her a racist. I'll listen to see what she's got to say today, because she'll obviously come on and address it. She isn't shy. You all know she's not shy.
Oh, and just quickly, people were saying, is Donna going to address it? Miss Ren, grow up, for a start. Secondly, she will address it Monday, weekend off, and she's not obligated to come in on the app and start talking about it. She doesn't have to come on if she says she's having time off. Sorry, I know this is going to sound, it's probably not what you want to hear, but Donna's family's much more important, and they need her this weekend. So sorry if that's upsetting you, but Donna will address it on Monday.
Morning, MT. Morning, Miss J.
What's going on?
Daz.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump up because before this live that Pearl was involved in, they came into Ross's live, and there was a massive pile on in Ross's live, and they totally derailed what was being spoken about, and it almost turned into I'm trying to find a way to explain it. Almost turned into a Black Lives Matter educational session. And it became quite aggressive, and I can understand Pearl's frustration last night. I ended up asking one of them to let me finish a sentence 3 or 4 times, and they kept speaking over the top of me. And in the end, I just went, "You're a damn right rude bitch," which I was absolutely jumped on for calling her that word. Because apparently that was racist as well. But then they were okay to start calling people exactly the same thing in their live, and not an eyelid was batted. So there's a massive double standard, and I can understand why Pearl got so frustrated, because they don't let anyone finish a sentence.
And I get that it does, but I think it may be around the terminology that people use. Do you get what I mean? I think people feel like people at the minute feel like that they all get stereotyped into one situation, and that situation involves everyone, and that's how it feels. People are having to defend themselves because they don't agree with the specific comment that was made, which is fine. They're allowed to do that. They're entitled to do that. When it's coming across as aggressive, is it aggression because the point they're trying to make isn't being listened to, or is it aggression just because they're being aggressive?
Exactly. And it's very hard to distinguish between actual aggression and frustration. And while I don't believe Pearl is inherently racist, I think her choice of word last night was more than unfortunate, shall we say. That was probably one of the worst words she could have called someone, and it's inexcusable to use that. But I don't believe she's an inherently racist person.
Who's they, Dan?
Huh?
Who's they, Dan?
Who's they?
Yeah.
The people that were in there live last night.
Who?
Huh?
Who? You
I
said
can't remember. I can't remember all the names that were in there.
No, I think he's referring to that. Can we please not get this confused, please? He's referring to they as in he doesn't know their names. So they as in a
group
few
of people.
a group of people that were in there that he doesn't know their names. That's all, Top Girl.
All right. What I came in to say is, if you're having an argument with somebody, you never, ever, ever, ever make a racist remark. It doesn't matter if you're drunk. It doesn't matter if you're sober. It doesn't matter if you're angry. It doesn't matter if you even want to unalive them. You do not ever, ever say anything like that. I love Pearl. I love Pearl. I've grew up around the full gypsy community, and I know they face racism on a daily basis, just like I have. But would I ever call somebody a racist remark? No. And
I'm just going to jump in here because this mother, him in the top box, you're a scouser like me, and I've sat here for months and I've watched you, and I've watched you tear people apart, and I've sat here now thinking, I watched last night and I watched Pearl, and I'm from Liverpool 8, and I'm going back to the riots now, and you know, I live in a culture that is more black people than white. I've never in my life would I ever refer to anybody in that situation. But what I do is I've watched Pearl from way back. And whether she referred to somebody as in that, she's referred to not just that, it's not just of like whether she was drunk or whether she was this or whether she was that, but this Mother Teresa, I'm not being funny, but why don't you show your face, mate? Because you're a scouser like me, and you sit there and all you do is slag people off. And you are worse than anybody else.
Trisha, what the hell is this got to do with this? This is a racism thing.
This, you're worse than a fucking bitter woman.
Can I address this?
It's not an attack on Mother Teresa. We're talking about a total different
Who kicks it out? Nah,
I don't have powers for that.
I'll talk to her, let her back in. I'll speak to her.
Can I just say something, Mother Teresa, because I've got to go.
Go ahead,
I just want to ask Miss J, is Pearl okay? Because I'm worried about her mental health now.
No, she's not. However, Irene, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to deflect.
No, I'm not saying that, Miss J. I'm just worried about her mental health.
No, I know. I just don't want people to then, because I know how this is going to be twisted. That
yeah, of course.
You know, it's all about Pearl. Pearl's a victim. Absolutely not at all. But can I just say that neither is Laura. She's not a victim either.
She's a horrible person. We know that, Miss J. She's an absolute horrible person.
So, do you want my honest opinion?
Go on.
Because I know that I've had a lot of messages. That I don't know why everybody seems to think I don't know. But anyway, okay. So Clapham McClap said no. Okay. So when I'm not going to say that Pearl is innocent because she's not. What she said last night, which is, I've gone by screen recordings because I wasn't there. However, it's not right, and I'm going to stand up and say it. She should not have fucking said that.
I totally agree.
Should not have said that. Jesus Christ. And I'm not going to tell people that suffer with racism how to perceive it, okay? Because that is not up to me. That is down to your personal preference of whether you feel as a black woman, a black man, if that was racial or not. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say no, but I'm not going to do that because that is completely up to you. Yeah. And who the hell am I as a white woman to tell you not to be offended? Okay.
Do you think it was a racist remark?
Me personally, Pearl calls her grandchildren orangutans, okay? And whether you believe that or not...
We're not talking about her grandkids. She said it to Swearing Shepherdess in the middle of a
Can I just explain? Just 2 seconds, please.
I've been called a white whore before.
Right, okay.
We're not talking about you, Irene. We're talking about the context, what it's been said in. And to who it's been said.
Can I answer? Can I answer?
Be rude. I was just saying I've been called a white whore before.
Can I answer very quickly? Sorry, Irene.
Let James just finish first.
Sorry, in that scenario, yeah? So in the scenario last night, the way it was said, yeah? I agree with what you're saying, Top Girl. What you're saying is the way that it was said, because it was said to a person to a person from a different ethnic origin, just to get my terminology correct. Because it was said to a person, and obviously we know that the terminology that was used could be deemed as racist, then yeah, I agree with you from that perspective. But I'm not going to sit here and call a racist on the fact of the argument from last night.
No, all I'm saying, it was a very racist remark to a mixed race Jamaican woman. So it is a racist remark. So she might not be inherently racist, but she made a racist remark, which she needs to be called out for. And for you to say, but she calls it her grandkids. But this, but that, I'm sorry, no. If you made a racist remark, made a racist remark, put your hands up and say, okay, I fucked up.
Is that you, MT?
Because I'm getting moaned at because they thought I was in a hurry. Well, I am in a hurry and I'm going to go now. Miss J, you take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.
She apologised. She only apologised when Luke and everybody had said to her, what are you doing and what have you said? Like, because her friends have called her out on it. Luke called her out on it. And I'm sorry, there's no excuse to be drunk and say that. Like, my daughter's half Jamaican, right? And if anyone said that to my daughter, I tell you now, her head would be gone.
And that's fine. You're entitled to... you're entitled to feel that way, Top Girl. Like I've said, I'm not going... But the thing is, please don't ask for my opinion if you're not going to like what I've got to say. You want me to say my opinion, I'll say it, but then you'll come at me and be like, oh my God. No, I've already said, who am I to tell you... As a black community, you should not be offended. I haven't said that. I haven't said that you should or shouldn't be. That is up to you. I cannot possibly give you that advice on what is racist and what isn't. So I'm saying that, but that's still not good enough. So what do you want me to say? What I've said is that Pearl, what she said from the screen recordings I've seen, vile. Okay? I am not condoning it whatsoever. But what you're expecting me to do, which I'm not going to do, is rip her apart and call her a racist and she's this and I'm never speaking to her again and blah, 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 blah. I have said that's not going to happen. That's not who I am. So if you don't like it, that's not my issue. Unfollow me, block me. I genuinely couldn't care less. I've said what I've said. I stand by what I've said. Pearl, I've already spoke to Pearl and I've said to her that was fucking out of order. But what I'm not going to do is add to any more humiliation on her part that her friends are going to call her out all day. Yeah, which is within everybody's right.
The thing is, though, I like Pearl. I absolutely love Pearl. Like, and I was absolutely upset when I saw that this morning. So I wouldn't want anybody to be going at her as well, because at the end of the day, she's an older woman, and in my culture, we respect our elders. Yeah. But if she's done something wrong, I would even call my mum out.
Yeah, of course. But Top Girl, do you not think she's being called out?
Ultimately, you've got to understand as well, yeah, no one's sitting here making excuses for the behaviour. I haven't come here today to sit here and make excuses for the behaviour. Obviously, we knew it was going to be spoke about. It can't not be spoke about. It was addressed last night and everyone watched it last night. So it's inevitable. It's going to be spoke about all day today because obviously people were affected by what happened. And from my perspective, I was jaw dropped by what happened. And I've said that clearly from the beginning of the live, from the very start of me coming on here. I haven't sat there and said your behaviour last night was completely acceptable. I've said what you've done last night was not acceptable. I didn't like the way that you did it and my jaw was dropped. But I'm not going to sit here today and slander you left, right and centre as if I've got no loyalties to you or I don't like you as a person, because that's not what I'm going to do. But I won't sit here and say what she did was right. I'll sit here and say what she did was wrong. And everyone else should say what she said was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because no one's going to say that the behaviour was acceptable. But what I'm not going to sit here and do is sit here and drag it down.
Guys, in the comments, everyone who's saying that, what do you think of people calling you a Milky Bar? I'd do the same. I'd slap anybody who was racist.
But no one's got the same energy for that, though, Top Girl. So it's okay for everyone to say about, oh, Milky Bar and this, that and the other and the colour of our skin, but yet no one's bringing that same energy. I'm sorry, but either way, it's not right.
If I saw something like that, I would have the same energy.
But they haven't. This is what I'm saying. No one has.
In that live last night,
Team Shep, by the way, have not called out on her behaviour, and it's not okay, regardless of skin colour, whether you're white, black, fucking hell, it doesn't matter. You should never go for somebody's colour, whether it's white or whether you are black, you should never. And I'm sorry, I'm actually getting mad, because who the hell is anybody to say to me that I should not take that as a racial comment, being called, well, sorry, not me personally, but my skin colour, that I'm a Milky Bar?
No, you should. I'm sorry, you should.
You're fucking right, I should, Top Girl. I'm fuming about it. But do you know what? I know that people don't see it the same, and that is okay. But either side should not ever. There is already too much hostility in this world. We should never, ever be divided like that. And either party, whether that's Pearl or Laura, should never, ever say anything about people's colour.
Miss J.
You know, Shepherdess is a walking contradiction. She's a horrible, horrible person, and anybody who follows her and anything that comes out of her mouth is absolutely disgusting. I come on, I hate the woman. Like, I'm Team Speedo. They're both wrong, but two wrongs don't make a right.
Miss J.
Yeah.
This Milky Bar thing was brought up in Ross's live last night, prior, with the same people that were in the live with Pearl. And they actually said calling a white person a Milky Bar is not racist.
Honestly, I've never heard so much shit in all my life.
So Rossi said, we're okay to call you a Mars bar then? And they went, no, that's racist.
Honestly,
it's a total double standard, because apparently you can't be racist to a white person. They actually said last night you cannot be racist to someone who's white because it's I can't remember the word they use now, it's escaped me, but they basically said it's okay to be racist to a white person because it's not racism.
Okay, can I very quickly? I've got a list of people who are trying to get in boxes. So is there anyone who wants to do? Because obviously the boxes aren't subjective to anyone. Anyone can take a box. Whoever wants a box.
Do you want me to drop?
Anyone wants to drop? They can drop. You stay here with me, Jay.
Can I just say a quick thing? Sorry, it's my first time here. Good morning. I was in the live last night when Pearl said that, and like you said, it was a bit of a gasp. And I do feel like I don't watch Pearl very often, but I know of her, and I do feel that it was the terminology that she uses, but she wasn't trying to be racist. If she uses that word to call her grandchildren and her family, she was very angry at the time over being called love, which maybe she doesn't like to be called. So you can get where it just became very angry. Now, back when I was a child, we would call someone maybe the Milky Bar kid. It was the kid at school who had blonde hair with glasses. Or we would call a ginger child an orangutan. Now, obviously, as you grow up, you think, we may have offended them people and we haven't said anything. And I just think it's been a bit blown out of proportion. And it hasn't been meant in the
Shelley,
way it's been took.
respectfully, I'm going to have to, because if we're going to be honest and I'm going to stay true to who I am, I'm going to have to disagree with what you said about, oh, it's because she was calling Pearl love. That is not an excuse. I'm sorry. Love is different to be
I'm not
calling a
making an
racist word.
excuse.
So
But I think she was just getting angry.
The only other thing you just need to be a little bit mindful of, everyone, is even though it doesn't affect us personally, and it's not a statement which I can say relates to me, it will affect many people out there who will say it relates to them, and they will be passionate about it because obviously it's their experience, isn't it? It's what they've gone through, so they're entitled to have the say and to have their opinion. But as I said earlier on, it's not me coming here to condone anyone's behaviour, but I'm not going to come here and do what everyone's expecting everyone to do.
Before she said that, was she playing Baba Black Sheep?
Say that again.
Somebody in the comments just added me and said that before she said that racist remark, she was playing Baba Black Sheep as well. Is that true? I don't know. I've not seen that.
No, I wasn't in the line.
It wasn't. I didn't hear her say that.
Right.
Baba Black Sheep weren't playing on Pages Live this morning, which I was in. That's where that comment was made.
The Baba Black Sheep was in Pearl's Live.
Yes, she sang it.
And why was she playing
things
that?
on Alexa, and Baba Black Sheep came up.
Yeah, can we get a bit of a background to that though? Because I don't know why would she play that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I wasn't in the live, but I know it was on Pearl's Live.
Well, is there anyone in the comments then that can jump up and just explain why?
Tell us.
She went in, I see a screen recording this morning that she went back in the box and said that she was on with Zach Daly and she was playing nursery rhymes and Alexa just automatically played that one afterwards.
She had nursery rhymes on.
Yeah, she had Old MacDonald on.
Hang on a minute. Someone was there.
I'll drop down, but thank you for letting me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know who's speaking though, because I can't see boxes like that. I can only see 3 people with the mic off. Which
Can anyone hear me?
Bulldog, Shelley and Jasmine.
Yeah, I don't know who's talking, but I can hear you.
Oh, it's me, it's Jasmine, sorry.
Oh, hi, Jasmine.
I see a screen recording and she was apparently playing nursery rhymes and then it just played automatically after the one that she was playing when she was on with Zach.
Okay, so what I want to know, I want someone to confirm it, that did she ask for that to be played or was it automatically played when it is in a list of nursery rhymes? Yes or no? Did she ask for it to be played?
If it was already playing, then come on, we can't say anything.
It was already playing.
Right,
if you go on,
we can't say anything about that. I've asked. You wanted me to ask.
Then yeah, I'm sorry, but that is invalid. You can't use that because she said honestly, fuck it.
I can categorically tell you now, that did not happen in Pages Live. Where the comment was made, there was no music on because she was arguing with Shep.
Okay. If you go on, I think it's called I'll share it, TJ, and just so you can see.
Yeah, please do, because like I said, if she's asked for that to be played, like I said, I weren't there, but if she had asked for that to be played, then I'd have something to say. But you can't go with a woman because she's played a fucking nursery rhyme, which was on automatic on Alexa. I'm sorry, but you can't. You need to honestly give your head a shake.
Yeah, and let me just confirm to everyone, the actual term black sheep has no racial connotations to it. Right? That's a fact. The actual term black sheep has no racial connotations. It's the black sheep, i.e. It's not the same as norm. It has no racial connotations to it. As a black Jamaican Rasta man, that has been raised around Irish people, because I have a lot of Irish friends that were on my estate when I was growing up. The term orangutan and monkey, they say that within their own community. Yes, it has racial connotations towards us as black people. However, I don't feel as if Pearl said that racially. Do you get what I'm saying?
And that's why I said London Bulldog, that it is down to personal, how you feel personally about it, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say you should or should not be offended. And by the way, for the people in the comments that are saying, oh, can't a person of colour be in the box? Top Girl, what colour are you? I'm Pakistani. London Bulldog, what colour are you, please?
I'm a black man. I put my camera
Yeah,
on.
so shut the fuck up. People are in here. We're not just an all-white panel, okay? They are in the
I
box.
literally said anyone who wants to get
Just
in
for
the
the
box, get
comments.
in the box.
Anybody
The boxes
can
are
join the
full.
box.
So when someone dips, I'll get someone else in. There's a list.
Just for the comments sake, yeah? I'm a black Rasta man, yeah? I
There it
don't
is.
believe she was racist. I do believe, yeah, that it has racial connotations, so I can understand why it would be offensive to people, but it doesn't have racial connotations. That's something they say within their own community, you know? And especially as the Irish was suffered just as much oppression as black people within the UK. You know, back in the day, it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no racial. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't wanna mislead my words, but like, it weren't deemed that way. Like, I've seen, yeah, my friends call their own kids monkeys. That's how they talk within their own community. Every culture has their own language, their own slang. You know what I'm saying? So not everyone is going to be able to understand. However, I do believe that it shouldn't have been said. I don't agree that it was said in the environment that it was, because let's be honest, it was a predominantly black panel.
I agree.
Right. However, I don't feel like it was said in a racial form. I actually love Pearl. I love her honesty. Like, she will tell you straight up to your face. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion on it. Like, I don't know her personally, but that's just from what I've seen, and that's just what I believe. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, nice one for coming in.
I'm just gonna say, and then I'm gonna drop. I think we can all agree that the comment wasn't okay. I think the main thing we need to do is just educate off the back of it instead of attack. Obviously, Pearl uses the word quite a lot, so I think from now we just need to educate instead of attack her. We can all agree that it's not okay to say that. None of us are saying that it's okay, but we've all watched Pearl for many months, and we all know that she's not racist.
Hello.
Hey, let me just get some more people in the box. Go ahead, whoever was going to speak then. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, MT, it's Rain. I just wanted to quickly say, context in this is so important, and you can't label someone a racist if they didn't mean it in an racial way. Yes, people can take offence. Sorry, that's my son. Yes, people can take offence, but at the end of the day, everybody knows Pearl and knows that she's one of probably the most genuine people on the app, and that you know how much she's going to wake up this morning and feel so terrible that she has said something to offend someone. You know, she loves deeply, and she would never, ever, ever say something with intention to offend a whole race. I think people are just trying to look for silly things and jump on a hate train again. I think people, you know, need to have the same energy like you guys said the other way around, because you know, you can be racist to a white person. People of colour can be racist to white people. That's a fact. It's not one-sided because they get white privilege. I don't understand why people keep saying this. At the end of the day,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. Like, I don't think. I said it before. I don't think Pearl is inherently racist, but the remark she made yesterday, in the context she made yesterday, it was racist. And I know you're a mixed race lady, and you were speaking on Mrs. Red's live yesterday, so you can't say like she didn't say it in that way, when we've all seen the screen recording, and the way she said it was very, very racist. And don't get me wrong, I like Pearl, but I was upset from what I heard yesterday.
Top girl, no one should tell you whether you should or shouldn't be offended by that.
No, I agree, but I just don't want people.
you know, I'm not taking away that
She's
nobody
not a
should
racist, and that remark wasn't racist when it was
I'm not
a
saying
very
the
racist
remark
remark.
wasn't racist. I think people just need to. People are saying because she said the orangutan or whatever, because she said that, then she is a racist. That's labeling somebody for saying one word. I don't agree with. That's something I don't agree with. People are jumping on something just because she said one thing that marks her a racist. No, that's not. That's not true. We all have been racist or had racist thoughts. Everybody, by accident or on purpose. That's just how it is.
I can't say I ever have, because I have white family, I have African family, I'm married to an Albanian, I'm half myself, my kids are mixed race, racism, my parents would have never have allowed it. We have been brought up in a mixed environment, so we've not you can't say everyone has.
In life, we have racist prejudice, yeah? So, you know, say if you see...
just don't generalise. If you've had racist
I'm not
thoughts, then
generalising, I'm
generalise it
just
to
being
yourself. Don't
honest. You
generalise
can't
it
say
to
you've not ever had a
everyone.
racist thought. Let's be real. That's honest.
Good Top Girl, obviously you've got...
Being honest, I've been the subject to racism. Are you okay?
Yes,
If you're going to say you've had thoughts of racism, generalise it to yourself.
Did you say that you've got white family members?
100%, yeah.
So okay, let me just say to you, if a black person was to come for your family member and say, "Oh, look at you Milky Bar," would you take offence to that? Because obviously that's then your family member.
100%. I'd smack him in the
so
face.
it does exist. It is okay for white people to be offended, yeah?
Yeah, obviously. Come on. I'd smack anyone who was racist in front of me or anything. I don't care. It's not okay.
Can I hear from Stifler's Ma?
Oh, I've had 4 hours sleep and I'm so grumpy. I was in Ross's last night, okay, and I was fuming. And then after that, I went in to Paige's live and I seen all of that with Pearl, right? Now, I don't believe Pearl is racist at all. I think, you know, what she's saying is true. You know, like with regards to using that word daily. But no one picked up on the word that Laura used to describe Luke. She called him a jankro. Now, if anybody doesn't know what that is, go into Urban Dictionary, look it up, right?
I brought this up yesterday in Miss Red's live, and other people were using that term jankro in the comments of her video, and nobody had the same energy. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, exactly, right? So this word she used came after what Pearl had said. Not straight after it, but after Pearl had left, you know, that live. And Pearl was absolutely broken last night. And that is heartbreaking. And, you know, I was devastated watching that. But, you know, I was fuming, absolutely fuming with all of this. It just kind of escalated. And I really don't want Pearl to wake up this morning and see more lives fired up about her. I really don't. I don't know.
She has to expect it, unfortunately. You can't silence people, the black community that are offended by it. We're not going to silence the community. I'm sorry, I have to.
No.
Doesn't like the fact that people are sparking lives up about her. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. Yeah, it happens on that that app in the public eye. Yeah, it's going to be discussed, and they have a right to discuss it.
As I said before,
exactly. And do you know, you said that there, Jay, right? Totally agree. It's got to happen regardless, right? But do you know what got me in Ross's box yesterday? Was when Torian was in the box saying that a bunch of white people who do not agree with racism, she called us all weird. And she doesn't agree with it and told us to stop it.
Yeah, but that's bad for us to be called as white people. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was in Pearl's live. Yes, she was playing nursery rhymes. No, she did not ask for Bear Bear Black Sheep to be played at all in any way or form, and it was just a fun night and got too out of proportion. Yes, the word she did use was an inappropriate word to some folk. I'm from a mixed race background. I didn't find it offensive in any way, shape or form. And obviously people are going to find it offensive, and she's going to get the backlash of that today, which is agreeable in some cases. But Pearl is not a racist, far from a racist, and people are going to take things wrong, but it's okay for them to call her community them lot, their lot, thieves, etc. That's not all over the FYP, I'm sorry to say. But just because she said one word which was inappropriate in some people's eyes, and people just want to get on the bandwagon to just pick and poke at someone else instead of, because they've got obviously nothing else to talk about, they're just picking and nitpicking, but not then nitpicking at the people that they're supporting that are also saying inappropriate words. It's okay for blacks to be racist against, but not okay for whites to be called against, because
no one said that. No one said that. And if I had seen that, I would be saying the same thing that I'm saying about Pearl. So,
yes,
come on, guys, we need to have the same energy for both sides.
We have got the same energy, some people have, but like I said, is it Top Girl? Like when there was on about the songs, she's more entitled to obviously play nursery rhymes. She did not ask for Bear Bear Black Sheep in any shape, way or form. That is not what it was about.
Sorry, I can't see it lighting up.
Can I just
very quickly, just before you do, sorry, whoever that was, but very quickly, just before you do, if Torian wants to get in and speak, she can get in and speak. As I said at the beginning, these boxes are not subjective. Anyone is welcome to come in the box and have you say. It's just that unfortunately the boxes are full, so I can't get the queue of people that are in, but as soon as someone drops, someone else comes in. So if anyone wants to get in, you're more than welcome to come in and have you say.
Yeah, I'm going to drop any
Mother Teresa as well.
About the nursery rhymes, really, that she did not ask for that song at all, and it wasn't labelled or pushed towards any culture.
I'm sorry if that sounded like I said that. She said that. All I said, somebody added me, and I asked the question. That's all it was.
Yeah, I just thought to clarify it with you. I was there, I did watch it, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, just clear that up, because Top Girl, the people of the situation involved are going, or even the followers are going to, that obviously don't like Pearl or disagree with what Pearl said, and rightly so, I disagree with what she said, are going to assume that she sang that or played that on purpose, and that was not the case whatsoever.
No, I know what you mean, but I'm glad you clarified that, Donna.
Go ahead, Alicia. What was you saying?
Right, because I need to go because I've got loads of stuff to do. Basically, I love Pearl, but yesterday you can't say that. She cannot say that. She needs to apologise. She can't run around saying, I'm not saying sorry for that.
We said that.
You cannot say this.
We've already said that, Alicia.
Yeah, we agree.
My other point is, people sitting there saying black people are racist, white people get racism. No, they don't. Do your Googles, do your research, look into history. That's not how it goes. As white people, you can't sit there and say what people of colour can and cannot get offended by. It really pisses me off. And that was all I wanted to say, I think.
But Alicia, do you think it's right for anybody to say about anyone's skin colour?
No, it's not, but it's the history behind everything.
No, I get that, but it doesn't make it right. Whether you're white or black, it doesn't make it right.
A white something or other, it's not a big deal. Like, you've got.
It is, Alicia. I see it as a big deal. I don't like it.
No, I don't.
It's not okay, regardless of whether
you
you
look into the history of things and the history of what people of colour have been through due to because of what white people have put them through. It's just, and like the what's the word? How degrading, like the words are degrading, you know, like the N word's degrading, the P word's degrading. Being called a white person, it's not degrading.
Can I jump in?
I'd like to interject and then exit because being on the UK TikTok, it drains me. So I just want to start by saying, one, I'm not on the UK TikTok. So for every person who comes into the box and says, we all watch or we all know. Yesterday I was Yesterday, I was in the live prior to Laura joining the live in the box. I was there. And then I was watching after Laura joined and for the whole debacle that's being discussed right now. And what I can tell you is that of the people who came into the boxes, I knew maybe 5% of them. I have never seen or heard of Pearl. I've never sat in a misread live. I don't know these people. I've not been in your lives. I don't know who you are. All I know is clips that I see on videos that are posted on TikTok and messages that are put in different places, whether it be on the bottom of a video or in a live. And so the reason why I bring this up is context, number one, is everything. Number two, the history of the way things are said and what they mean is important. It as a person who has not ever and will not ever experience the discrimination and the prejudice that comes with the color, the melanin, the pigment in your skin, you are not going to experience certain things based on how much is there. There is a difference between racism, discrimination, prejudice, and yes, it's not okay to discriminate against someone because their skin is white or because it's brown or because it's between white and brown and it's olive. No, that is not okay. However, it is also not racism. There is a difference, and this word is being used and tossed all around all the time. Maybe you guys don't see it because you don't have as much diversity over there, that you don't see it as blatantly. But when you walk into a hospital and you are the only person in your class who looks like you, who's going there to work, and that's where you work 5 days a week, and you try, there are lots of jobs posted and lots of people have applied, but anyone who looks like you doesn't get the job even though they have open availability. That is an example of both racism and discrimination. It's not these words that we're saying, they're hurtful, but it's not just words. It's action and it's power. It's not just the one thing. So please, I'm not here to make a grand change because as Pearl has said in her 57 years, people who are determined to stay set in their ways and to not have a change are not going to have a change. That is the number one most important thing that has to be acknowledged here. For every person who's listening, for every person who has something to say, if you come forward and you have no intention on changing or learning anything that's being said from any other person, despite where they come from and what they experience, then everything that they're saying is falling on deaf ears and it's pointless. If you're not here to learn, anything you're saying and anything you hear is pointless. If no matter what you tell me about someone who's Irish, someone who's a gypsy, whatever's happening in the UK, if it doesn't matter what you say, I'm still going to think the way I think and I'm still going to walk around and say these white people, then there's no point in me being a part of this discussion. So it's not going to change anything.
Tamu, so what you're saying is that white people shouldn't feel offended if our colour is mocked. Is that what you're saying?
That is not what I said and is absolutely not what I'm saying. You can very well be offended. Anyone has the right to feel what they feel, and offense happens. The person who grows up in a neighborhood where there's nothing but crime and the way you dress and the way you talk is a huge part of how you get treated and whether or not you're going to be at gunpoint or not. And their skin happens to be white, and that's why they're going to be treated the way they are. Yes, they can very much be offended by that. What I'm saying is that's not racism. There's a difference. What I'm saying is know the difference in the words. When we go, and really there's no point in spending so much time on what the word is and how it's defined. The point is to look at what the behaviors and the actions are and decide if people want to educate themselves and make changes to what is offensive, to what is okay, to what the history behind something is. If you want to make changes about those things, it's not me being a person of color. Anything that I tell you and that I say, any person who does not look like me may take from that, but it's not going to be the same impact as when someone who looks like them tells them. When a person who doesn't look like me and doesn't have hair like me is going to try and give me instructions on how to care for my hair, whether I try it or not, I'm going to look at them like, but what do you know? You haven't had to deal with this. Versus someone who looks like me and has had what I've had and has experienced what I've had. It makes a difference. So for all the discussions that's going to be had and all the circles that's going to go around, if you have no intention on changing, then just save your peace. It's an argument for the sake of argument. If there's not going to be change that comes from it, then why are we talking about it? Is it for views and for money? Then say that, because people will still step up to argue. There will still be discussion. When people, it's for money. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that accent. Let's talk about this.
Two things. Yeah,
I think discrimination in all forms is wrong, whether you're white or black.
Let me just address two of your comments. Yeah, first of all, to the people in the comments, don't be shutting someone down for their opinion. Because at the end of the day, that's what they've come in to say, isn't it? It's how they feel about the situation. Just like everyone else is going to get in and say how they feel about the situation. That's why I'm not speaking. I'm not commenting, because I don't want no one to feel like they can't have their opinion. Because you're all entitled to your opinion. You're all entitled to come in this box or to go in any box today and say exactly how you feel. No one should shoot you down for that. The only other thing that I will pick up on is it's not different experiences to how you experience it in America to how it's experienced here in England. I think the experience is universal, isn't it? You've all gone through something or some experience, or you've gone through some element of your life where a bad situations happen to you, and obviously, anything that happens just automatically becomes a trigger. Because obviously that's happened to you previously. So that's how you reference it, isn't it? Because you've experienced it. So now you know what to look out for.
Yeah. And that's all my piece is you need to, if you're not here to learn, then it's for nothing. And take into account that if you have not experienced, if you haven't lived in that skin, if you haven't experienced what it's like to look that way every day in every environment, then you're not in a place to say that someone can't feel this way. Lastly, find the definitions of the words. Not everything is racism. People can be vile and mean and discriminate and rude. That doesn't make them racist. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean people aren't hurt.
Oh, can I just say something, please? So if I was to go on live today and start calling everyone blood clots and saying wagwan and saying, is it Jankro? How would I be perceived today as a white woman?
I mean, it depends on the context in which you're saying those things.
Just the way that would be just, let's just say that is, just... Because it confuses me slightly to me, because a lot of Shep's team mimic that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if somebody outside of Team Shep was to say it, I feel like it's then personally attacked, like it's very selective. So
Right.
that's how I feel. I feel like it is selective.
And you know what? You're probably not wrong. Because within the communities and the circles that I've seen, there is a lot of selective discrimination, a lot of selective hate, a lot of selective calling out on things. If you were to go on live and to be saying those things, depending on how you were saying it, it could be cultural appropriation. Mm-hmm. If you were trying to pretend that it was one way. If you were making an example, then you're making an example. DG was talking about how he's a comedian. There's a way to do it where it's comedy and you acknowledge that it's comedy and you move forward. Does that change whether or not certain individuals can be
Yeah, but mocking is mocking at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
not comedy if you're mocking it. And although, you know, if I was to say it today, I feel like I would be attacked because of the situation, what's going on today. But yet Team Shep can carry on and mimic what she says.
One set of people doing it, something that is wrong, period. It doesn't matter if it is accepted within that group. If it is wrong, it is wrong. It may be a norm within a group that doesn't change whether or not it's right or it's wrong. What you do is what is right, and what is wrong, and whether or not you were raised in that way and that's all that you know, that does not change whether or not it is right or it is wrong. It can be accepted to high hell within 5,000 people and they have a village, and you need to know before you walk into there that this is the way that they behave. That doesn't change whether or not it's right or wrong. It's going to be right and it's going to be wrong. And the decision that each person has to make is to decide, do they want to understand? Do they want to know? There are plenty of things that I do knowing that it's wrong. If my license is suspended and I drive anyway, I know that I'm driving with a suspended license and I'm still driving. I need to accept the consequences if I am held accountable for the fact that I did that thing that was wrong.
I agree, Tamu. Thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate you coming in and having your opinion. Obviously, we've all sat there and we've all listened. But I need to spin the boxes because there's like a queue of people who are all crying to get in. So, Namira, you've been sat down there for about 20 minutes and haven't said a word. So do you want to go next?
I did try coming, but I think I'm not quite as I don't shout. I just want to say, as a Chinese English person who lives in a very multi-diverse area, like we have a lot of white people, a lot of black people, a lot of Asian people, as in Indian, Pakistani, Islam, I'm used to being in a wide majority of people. And I'm with Jay on this one. I don't agree that white people can't perceive racism. I've had racism all my life. I'm often called, like, people in their everyday life say in my area, oh, I'm going to have a CHINKY to say they're going to have a Chinese takeaway. And that's been used to me as a derogatory term, saying that I've got those eyes. But I also know it's the way that people talk here. So although I can be personally affected if someone calls it me in a derogatory way, I tend to not get affected if people say, oh, I'm going to have one of those tonight, meaning food, because I also know that in this area, that is how it's spoken, whether that's right or wrong. But the definition of racism is that you have discrimination, prejudice against someone because of their ethnicity, their race, where they come from. It doesn't matter about the pigment of their skin. Anybody can be a victim of racism. And in different parts of the world, every single race in the world has been a slave at some point. White slavery, there was the European slaves from ancient Rome, from the Islamic world, the Ottoman Empire, the Black Sea slave trade. It's in history everywhere. So I definitely feel that racism is against everyone, not just white, not just black, not just white, not just black, not just Asians. It's that's just what my opinion, and I do think.
Look at the comments. Just prime example. Look at the comments. The comments are so divided. It is unbelievable. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, but I'm looking at the comments, and if you look at them comments are so undivided by different people who've all got an opinion on a situation, who all look at things differently, who all have a completely different perspective, and no one can say anyone's opinions wrong, or anyone's feelings wrong, because it depends how you've been affected by what's happened. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's only two people who are going to be able to sort this situation out, aren't they? And hopefully them two people are going to come on live at some point and address it. I'm not sure when, but I'm surmising it will happen. But if you look, we collectively in the box and I'm going to say collectively because everyone's in here having an opinion, we're divided and the comments are divided. So look how society is. Society is the exact same. It's completely divided. It doesn't matter what stance you have on it, whether you think that this is racist, whether you think that's racist. You know, people could be offended at the slightest thing, but then the slightest thing, what could not be offensive to you, could be massively offensive to someone else. And I think I've took a boat in learning that at some point. And I think collectively it could be done for everyone. But obviously, the boxers are fucking chocolate. Jay, help me out. I'm begging, please.
MK,
Help me
said
out.
my bit now, MT, I'll drop down.
Namita,
sorry.
thank you. Miss Bolt, if you just wait a sec, just because there was people who was in here before you, so if you let them speak and then I'll get over to you. So just give me give me 2 minutes. Ali C.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just came in because I was reading the comments. I was in Pearl's Live last night and I seen the comments there saying that it doesn't matter if Baba Black Sheep was automatically played. She shouldn't have sang along with it. Now, my son goes to nursery where Baba Black Sheep is played daily. So were you saying that the schools and the nurseries are racist for playing that?
I can't answer because it wasn't my question. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the people in the comments are quick to say that she's racist for singing Baba Black Sheep. And even at the end, Pearl did say, before anyone takes offence to me singing Baba Black Sheep, I was singing it to my grandkids. So I think people just need to wise up with that. Like, that was just stupid.
Thank you, Ellen.
Yeah, I'll drop down now, but I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Welshbird, you're next, and then Beth, then Loz, then Miss Bolt, then Shawnee, Adele.
Morning, Mother Teresa. How are we?
Morning, I'm good. How are you?
I mean, because as a small creator, it's very hard to get in boxes these days. Obviously, I watched the live stream last night, and obviously, I have my opinions on different situations. Like, I've seen a lot of comments yesterday about the whole Milky Bar kid situation. Like, my personal opinion on that, if you're going to sit there with a profile picture of a Milky Bar kid, be expected to be called a Milky Bar kid. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and as a white person, I can say that. Next of all, like, what is it with all these live streams fired up and, you know, like since yesterday, I've seen about 7 or 8 different live streams being fired up regarding Laura. You know, do you find this fair on her? You know, on the whole Pearl situation, people need to stop defending her, in my personal opinion, because at the end of the day, she knew exactly what fucking live stream she was going into. She knew exactly who was in that live stream, but still continued to say it. Out of everything in the world that could be said, you know, she calls people an orangutan, and she said it to, you know, the people that wasn't meant to be said it to. Do you know what I'm saying? As a 57-year-old woman, she should have been more educated than myself as a 30-year-old woman. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, Welshbed. I do agree with you in the sense of she shouldn't have said that, and I'm not saying that she is in the right whatsoever. Pearl has had my view on it this morning. She knows exactly how I feel about it. However, what I'm not going to sit back and do is let people think that they can do whatever they want on the app and get away with it, because Laura has called her sheep Muhammad, right? But it's okay because she's got Muslim family. No, that does not wash with me.
No, this is where people are getting it wrong, right?
No, it's not wrong. That is what she did. Rambo called her out on it and said it's not right, and then she retracted it, named the sheep something else. She fell out of Rambo, and then she called the sheep Muhammad again.
Was originally called Mohammed after her cousin. That was the sheep's original name. And because she befriended Rambo, Rambo said, "Oh, why didn't you call the sheep Rambo?" And her cousin didn't like it. That's the truth of the situation. You know, this is where people are getting it wrong every single time.
So then admittedly, we all get things wrong at some point in our lives, right?
You know, at the end of the day, you know, everyone's sitting
so we all get
calling
things
Laura
wrong at some point in our lives, though, yeah?
People sitting there calling Laura left, right, and centre.
I'm going to take that as a yeah.
That was fucking perfect. As someone who sat on the app for 4 years, you know, I've been on the app since it fucking started as TikTok. And before the whole gifting situation, this app was never as toxic as it was. And I can say that as a fact. So once the gifts start coming in and people wanted drama, and new drama to make views, and then views make money, that's when it all started, and that's when the app went toxic.
Can I also just point out to you very quickly, I didn't fire up a live to talk about Laura. I came live this morning just with me people, and 2,000 people came in here and wanted to discuss the Pearl situation, so I'm not going to deflect from it, because if I deflect from it, you should all sit there and call me out for it and say that I was hiding and didn't want to comment on it because I was Pearl's mate. So obviously that's the reason why I started this live earlier on, was to talk to the people who watch over normally, and everyone came in. So I'm not sitting there firing lives up talking about people. I'm giving people an opportunity to vent and to say their opinion and how they feel, because everyone has a right to do that, don't they?
One person, people are going on about, Laura doesn't have these racism remarks on a daily basis. She does. I've seen it for myself. People fire up lives. Creators fire up lives.
So from creators, Welshbird, do you mean, or do you mean by troll accounts?
Troll accounts coming from creators' live streams. Do you know what I'm saying? Coming over and calling her the N-word and the P-word. She gets that on a daily basis.
And do you know what? I don't agree with it. It's fucking disgusting. That is vile. And do you know what? I can only apologise on behalf, as if they're, white, on the troll accounts. I can only apologise that is what she's experienced, and that is awful. And we don't stand by it. And we've told Pearl what we think. Pearl shouldn't have said it. It is vile. She should not have said that. I can't tell anybody that they should or should not be offended by what Pearl said. If anything, absolutely, everybody in the black community should have a right, and do have a right, to be offended. However, what I am going to say is that apart from that, a character reference from Pearl, she has called many people an orangutan. Now, this wasn't an attack based on colour. This was an attack based on behaviour, okay? So orangutans are seen to be causing trouble, mischief, chaos. Her grandchildren, she refers to them as orangutans, and if you watch Pearl, you would know that.
One of them things like this, I see it more and more on this app every single day, and this app has gone really fucking toxic, and it's all down to one thing, and one thing only, is down to the drama.
Everyone hates each other, Welshbird. Everybody hates each other. There's a divide in colour, there's a divide in just people in general. Everybody hates each other. Everybody's ready with pitchforks at each other to go against everyone. And do you know what I always stand by, and I will always stand by it, is that we all bleed red and we all end up dead.
Exactly that. We all come in this world to
none of us get out of this alive, so it's as simple as that.
And also, with Pearl, she's not, as an older woman, she should be, educated on different things. Like, she has said bad things about the transgender community. I've watched Pearl for a long time in the background. She has said things out of the ordinary. And, it just gets brushed under the carpet,
It's not being brushed under the carpet, trust me. But do you know what it is? I feel like you expect us that once if we called out all of our friends or fell out of our friends that have done wrong, even in real life, yeah, because let's remember that TikTok is a platform and you can just come off it, okay? So in your real life, would you disassociate yourself from friends that have made a mistake, yeah? So no matter how big or small it is, you do naturally stand by your friends. Naturally. Please don't lie and say that you don't, because you do.
100%, I totally.
And even family members, because let's be honest, we've all got a family member that have, done something wrong or whatever, and we stood by them. I'm not standing by Pearl because of what she said. I still do not agree, but what I'm not going to do is what everybody's expecting. Me, Miss Red, MT, Zach, we're all expected now to be like, we hate Pearl and we're never speaking to Pearl ever again. Listen, I will speak to Pearl again. She is my friend. And if you don't like that, then I suggest you unfollow me and block me. Do I agree with her behaviour? Fuck no.
No, at the end of the day, Laura is, not being funny, Laura is getting targeted a lot. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with everything Laura does on a day-to-day basis. But at the end of the day, she doesn't deserve people firing up lives left, right and centre, and going at her, opening their boxes and having everyone going at her, whether it's in boxes or the comments, when half of the time she's not there to defend herself.
Okay, Welshbird, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in and having a decent conversation with Welshbird. I do actually appreciate that.
No problem at all, thank you.
Go on, no worries, nice one. I can't remember if it's Beth or Loz, it's one of you.
Morning.
Go on, Beth.
Just quick, hopefully I can get it out without it coming across wrong. First things first, yes, Pearl shouldn't have said it in the way she had. I don't believe for 1 minute it was meant in a nasty remark. She then come on live and she was absolutely distraught. She gave an apology and she is a broken woman. Now, where is an apology from Laura for saying in that live, maybe I should have done a post about that spotty jankra? There hasn't been the same energy to go after Laura for that, as Stifler's mum pointed out earlier. And I learned that it's quite derogatory by, was it Leash or Leisha? I can't remember her name, so I hope I don't get it wrong, who educated us in Miss Red's live yesterday to say that that's very derogatory. Yet Laura fired up saying, maybe I should have done a post about that spotty jankra. That's my first point. My second point is Laura throwing out blood clots all the time is really offensive, and I take offence to it. I nearly lost my partner to 2 blood clots, one in the leg and one in the lung. So many people are dying from blood clots. How is that acceptable? My kids nearly lost their father because of 2 blood clots, but she can throw that word round.
I think it's not blood clot, it's blood clot.
Well, the way it sounds is blood clot, and I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. And again, people are running with it. We are all one race. I'm sorry if we've got different colour skin. We come into the world the same, we leave the world the same, we bleed the same colour.
Beth, thank you very much for coming in.
That's all I had to say.
I appreciate it.
Energy for Laura as what's happening for Pearl when she said, I'll fire a post about a spotty jankra.
Loz?
I'm sorry. Firstly, blood cloth, right? My sister actually died of a blood clot. I promise you it's not about blood clots. Just had to get that out the way.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd get that in there as well, Loz.
Yeah, I've written a list because my head's messed up, but nobody seems to be explaining why people say there isn't reverse racism, and it's purely because of the definition of the word. So racism is not black people versus white people for a start. It's the oppression of a race of people due to certain characteristics. Now, as people keep jumping in the box, it included Irish people at one point. As you know, no black people, no Irish people, no dogs. So it's nothing to do with black and white divide. Now, the reverse racism where black people can't be racist to white people is because white people haven't been an oppressed minority. So they can act in exactly the same way. Now, I'm mixed. I was raised with my white side of the family. So I've raised by my mum and dad, but with my dad's white side of the family. So I experienced racism from them. My nan was racist towards us kids. Whereas in school, I wasn't accepted by the black children. So it's like it went both ways for me because I was in the middle. But white people can experience discrimination from black people because I've seen that in my own family where they look down on white people and they will mimic them and laugh at them and whatever, and they're not accepted. And so that can happen, but it's not called racism. It's discrimination, just purely because of the definition of the word racism. It's based on being an oppressed race of people, and white people are not an oppressed race of people. That's the only difference. So it does 100% go both ways, 100%, but it's not racism or reverse racism. Now, on the Pearl thing, I really think it's to do with age, because when you're raised in a certain age range, you're raised in a certain way, you're taught certain values and beliefs from your family members, and then the world changes. And when you get older, you're not as quick to go with the flow of the change. And I'll tell you my example, me saying, oh, she was a lovely girl, and my daughter saying, you can't say that. I said, what do you mean? How do you know that was a girl? And I'm like, oh no, this is something that I'm finding really difficult to learn in that sense of things, because my brain's slower now because I'm getting older. So now, instead of offending someone, I say nothing. Now, my main point is now here, why? There's an enemy, and it is not white people versus black people. It's the rich people versus all of us. and they're doing it on purpose to cause this divide. So we're all fighting against each other. So when they come for us, our army's not strong enough because we're all fighting against each other instead of being together as one. And it goes both ways. It's not just against black people at all. I've seen it both ways, where there will be a group of black mixed women speaking in a box and they're putting down and belittling the white people who come in and not letting them have a say as if they're beneath them because they're not black. So I'm not saying it is only one way. My point is, we should all be together. Like, stop the divide, full stop. Let's start being equals and literally fight against the people who need fighting, against the people who want to oppress all of us, who we mean nothing to.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And that's it, really.
I really couldn't agree with you more. I'm a bit astonished, by the way, because I'm just now, like, my brain's now sort of all together. I've been on a night shift, by the way, so I haven't been asleep yet. But did someone just come in and say that they were offended because the husband had a blood clot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was just, I tried to explain that that's not what it means for a start. My sister died of a blood clot, so I'd be crying, wouldn't I? It's blood clot.
Just move forward from that one.
Can we? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lost.
Yeah.
Can I be perfectly honest? Yeah. I think you probably spoke the most sense.
Yeah, you have.
Out of everyone who I've heard who's come into the box. I mean, I'm not shutting down anyone else's opinions or anyone else's thoughts or anyone else's speech that they've had, but I think just the way that you've come in and you've put it in a way which, you know, even if we don't agree with each other, we can agree on the principle of what you've just said.
Yeah, that's what I can hear people trying to put that across, where they're just saying now white people can't experience racism, and it's nobody's fully explaining it's just due to the definition of the word in the dictionary. That's why they can't experience it. They can experience the exact same treatment without having ever been oppressed.
Yeah.
So black people can make white people feel segregated.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's not racism, because the definition of the word
It's
doesn't
discrimination, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So it's not reverse racism, because
and either way, you shouldn't discriminate against anybody. Either way, it's not right.
Yes, exactly. And everyone. The thing is with Pearl, people say, like, she's not racist and rare. You'll notice with people, if they're having an argument with someone, DG, for example, he will pull up something and say something that is due to her characteristics, to Laura's characteristics. So that's your first go-to. You've got something in the back of your head, and I'm not innocent. When the media was spouting, I'm not even going to say the race, but I'll give you an example. I'd be sitting on a bus and a certain race of person would get on with a backpack. I would sit there crapping myself because of what the media has put into my brain. These are dangerous people. So I even went through that myself. I got poisoned by it myself as well. I'm not innocent in it. So it can happen every race, and every race will have a bias in them at some point as well.
Thank you, Loz.
No problem. Thank you.